Alright, so I know that Black Ops 4's beta is in the prime of weekend 2 here at this, but today I want to make a video on Call of Duty World War II because one big part of this is for today only, so you want to make sure you get in on that, but also there's some other things to talk about that while we're in that whole World War II mentality and frame of reference, it's good to actually mention all these other things coming up to keep you in the loop also. So yesterday, Sledgehammer did their standard update via their blog, talking about Call of Duty World War II this past week, what we can see next week, and all things considered about the game. So there's a lot to talk about once again, and we'll just jump right into it. Let's start out with the things that have already happened, the things you can already experience on the game for yourself right now. Firstly, one of the big things that is out there for this weekend is Weekend Warfare. That is double XP on Prop Hunt. Personally, I don't know if Prop Hunt's my favorite to have double XP on because it is a kind of slow going match where you're not at the very end gonna come out with a ludicrous amount of XP to rank up a whole ton, but when you do double it, I guess it is nice that it is a little more than you normally get, but compared to say a Domination, a Horde Point, or something like that, you're not gonna get near as much XP as other standard game modes. So in that sense, it's just for this weekend, but if you guys wanna have some fun in the Party Modes playlist, Prop Hunt does have a little extra bonus for you guys. So have at it with that, have some fun, go troll some teammates, whatever, because I had one guy, actually two, come into my game just really quickly trying to get some B-roll that just kept coming right in front of me. I'm like, team, this isn't a good idea, we're gonna get double killed here. But regardless, moving on to the next thing, the weekly weapon contract for this week was the ZK383, and this was one that actually was a little bit of a talking point within the World War II community as of the past couple of days, because whenever we talked about this last week, we saw that the ZK was coming, but we were kind of assuming that it was gonna be the base variants, which it was kind of like, why bring the base variants in if that's already the Cavalry Division's prestige reward? It kind of negates the effect of wanting to go in a prestige or Cavalry Division to get that weapon. But then whenever it came around, it was then the Lion ZK383, but also there was a split second where I think my chat in stream told me it was about a 10-minute to 30-minute time frame, where immediately after the update, it actually went to next week's weapon contract, that being the Delisle sniper rifle. So that was something that it was kind of all over the place, but it's now been sorted out, and it's now back to its regular state of being the Lion variant for the ZK383, but that's available from Butcher for 5,000 armory credits, and the challenge is to get 30 hipfire kills in an hour time frame. So again, as with all these other ones, rather simple to complete if you actually consciously go for it. It shouldn't be all that hard to end up getting this variant here for it, but amidst all the different changeovers and everything, it's nice to see it's kind of settled down in being the Lion variant, and there's no more real confusion on what's happening with that one. But sticking in Butcher here for just a second, we're gonna jump ahead of schedule for what's detailed in their blog itself. Sticking with Butcher though for just 1 second, I wanna talk to you guys about the biggest thing here out of this video and why I wanted to make this, because today is the last day. Last week we saw it for 24 hours only, but today is the last day in the foreseeable future where you can end up getting the PPSH Iron Curtain 2 variant. That's a heroic variant that's been around, and we've seen in the game files, and even it was playable for a little bit in private matches and offline during the exploit, I believe back in December or something like that. Regardless, it's one of my favorite variants in the entire game, and it's available again today only for a hefty amount of 7,000 armory credits. I will say that it's a little steep on price if you're wary of it, but all you have to do is in 3 hours time frame get 225 SMG kills. If you play Shipment 1944, that playlist, you're gonna end up getting that in like 3 to 4 games. It will take you no longer than 30 minutes in game time, and you'll be all set and good to go for what I think is one of the best looking variants in all of Call of Duty World War II. So in that sense, it's available today only up until 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, August 12th, Sunday. So make sure you jump on and get your hands on with that one, or at least secure the contract if you're interested at all within it. You don't have to complete it in that 24-hour time frame, you just have to activate the contract. So in that regard, even though it is a very, very hefty price tag, I definitely recommend getting this, because as it stands right now, this is the last chance you'll have. We don't know if this is going to come back at any point during the year, so make sure you get that contract, make sure you grind that out, and of course, get an awesome looking variant here out of it. The next thing up on deck is talking a little bit about a hotfix that went out yesterday for World War II, and the biggest thing here out of this addressed Master Prestige rewards and their rollout process, because there's still a lot of people having issues getting their camos, getting their uniforms, and personally, I still think I'm missing a uniform. Not entirely sure, but it is something that they detailed a fix for this a couple of days ago, but it was something that wasn't all that streamlined. The fix they gave last week or whenever it first initially rolled out was that you had to sit at the main menu for multiplayer, whether that be your news tab or your HQ tab, and let your console idle there for about an hour's time frame. Don't touch anything or enter any menus, just essentially get to whatever you default to whenever you first enter online, put your controller down, go do something else, and then an hour later it should have rolled out for that. That's not exactly the most streamlined again thing and most convenient thing, because you don't want to let your console sit there for an hour if you're trying to play some Call of Duty. But for whatever reason, it seemed that whenever people switched up and tried to select other things, the immediate rollout from servers to account would be interrupted. So that was their kind of quick fix here on that one. While letting it sit, it should negate any chance of any interruptions happening, and you should end up getting your stuff. Now, this hotfix they pushed out yesterday was something that should have made this a little bit more immediate. So their fix for this yesterday detailed that you'll need to go idle in the first HQ menu, whether that's your news tab or what they described as the vertical panes tab, with your major Howards, your quartermaster, your mail station, your headquarters, and your theater, whatever it may be. Go idle there for 90 seconds and it should then end up showing up. Now this of course is much better than an hour time frame sitting there and doing nothing, but still 90 seconds is something that I don't know if this fixes out everything, but that was their phase 1 for the fix of Master Prestige rewards. If this is something that does not fix the community's issue overall and at large, they'll end up pushing out a phase 2 for that in the coming days to weeks here for this, as a fix is created and updated for the game so that they can end up getting all players their rewards that they need. So that's something that, again, if you have not gotten something already, at least try this out, sit there for 90 seconds and then check your stuff. Again, I think that I'm personally still missing a uniform, because I think there is one at level 100, which I passed a little bit ago, but I don't have all the other ones. I got one camo and then one uniform. I just can't find the uniform. Maybe I'm blind. But again, this also hotfix addressed a cavalry division exploit where it'd give free riflemen and no shield, but you'd also still have the ability to fast capture and get cavalry assist. So obviously, the main purpose of cavalry is to have that shield and kind of make you play a little bit more passively. So in that sense, that was a pretty game-breaking bug with cavalry division. So they fixed that, and then they fixed the UI issue with weapon acquisition descriptions. That said, that was a quick little hotfix that went out yesterday, just a playlist update, nothing that required you to actually update your game, but especially with the big Master Prestige reward stuff, check that out if you haven't already. The final thing we'll talk about for this week's content deals a little bit with the community challenge currently at hand. We ended up completing the tier 2 of the community challenge, in which that gave us the Sand Pail weapon charm that's available right now on your mail station if you haven't collected it already, and then that goes on top of what we already got with the Sandy Treads calling card for tier 1, and so now we're moving on to tier 3, the next thing being the beachside camo, which can be found in the special category of the weapon camos, and that's something that for that we're gonna need to get 160 million kills as the mountain division. So for those of you guys that are following along or maybe not following along for the community challenge, this event's community challenge is a little bit different. It's not just kills overall or wins overall. It's actually each tier subsequently having their own division tied to it. So the first tier was get 160 million kills as the infantry division. The second tier was to get 160 million kills as the armored division. Tier 3 is 160 million kills as mountain. Tier 4 is 160 million as airborne. And then the final tier 5 is get 160 million kills as expeditionary division. So each one you have to play a slight different play style for this to get those challenges done and out of the way. But the next thing up again is the weapon camo, then we have the special helmets, that being the boating hat, and then finally we end up getting the Cruiser 2 heroic variants for the 5th and final tier. So if you guys want to make any progress to that, of course, feel free to hop on, play some games. I know right now the Black Ops 4 beta is probably taking priority over World War II for a lot of you guys, but for those of you guys that are not, of course, this is still a great time to make some progress on that and ultimately get a free variant out of it. We still have 17 days left, so plenty of time. We're probably already putting a dent into what we see with tier 3 of the community challenge. Unfortunately though, I can't confirm nor deny that, because like what we saw with Liberty Strike, my news tab actually still doesn't have any progress here for the community event. So I couldn't tell you if we just got 1 kill over in a tier 3 or if we're 1 kill away from completing tier 3. So that said, hopefully that's something that is fixed out in the near future. I'd love to see the progress on that personally, but again, we still have plenty of time and I'm not really worried about that. So I think we'll definitely complete this one, but let's jump into the next stuff. What's coming out in this next week? What's the stuff we can look forward to that Sledge has already detailed for us? Well, the first thing that we end up seeing is next week, midweek's mobilization, is double XP on Horde Point. that's awesome because it's coming back. I loved Horde Point from Attack of the Undead. I thought that was one of the most fun and sort of creative modes that you can end up doing with multiplayer that makes it a lot more chaotic and a lot more fun to play, I think, on just the standard play of Hardpoint. So Horde Point, for those of you guys that did not play it in Attack of the Undead, it is Hardpoint but with zombie hordes that will come and attack anybody so long as that people are around or on the hardpoint. So it gets pretty crazy at times, but you can definitely rack up some XP. And little fun tip, if you still need to rank up your cavalry division, sit in a corner and let the zombies come huddle around you because they can't get past their shields, so all you have to do is just melee them and you'll end up ranking up your cavalry division extremely fast. So double XP on Horde Point is going to be back for midweek mobilization. Then double XP on Leprechaun Hunt is also there if you party up. That's going to be available Wednesday to Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then, as for the weekend warfare, that's going to be a triple-double weekend on the Leprechaun Hunt Mosh Pit as well as Horde Point. So, double XP, double weapon XP, and double division XP. And coming back to that Horde Point comment, again, double division XP really does help out when you're trying to rank up some divisions, so if you still need to do cavalry, that tip still really does apply. That's going to be available from Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 17th to Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the 20th. And then finally, the last thing detailed to us that we can actually really do is that there's going to be the next weapon contract, which, as we mentioned earlier in the video, kind of glitched out last week and showed us it a week ahead, but the Delisle Sniper Rifle is going to be next week's weapon contract from Butcher. So that is a fantastic weapon if you guys are a sniper. I think this is probably top 3, no doubt in my books, of snipers within World War II, and maybe, depending on the playstyle and how you want to play, the ADS time is absolutely fantastic on this with escalation. It's a little nutty, but definitely worth going for if you haven't gotten any variants of this already. The final thing they do talk about, though, is that CWL Champs is going to happen next weekend as well, and to keep your eyes open for the daily order, in which you're going to get a rare supply drop and probably a hefty social score boost as well. They do that for major tournaments, but with COD Champs being something much bigger, I'd expect the reward on that daily order to be a little bigger as well. That daily order is going to be there Sunday, August 19th, so stick around for that. So definitely cool stuff here, and of course, even while Black Ops 4 is dominating the Call of Duty scene right now in terms of mainstream attention, there's still some awesome stuff happening within Call of Duty World War II. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your favorite things here out of this? Are you guys excited for the Iron Curtain 2? Have you gotten it already? Are you guys excited for a fix for Master Prestige rewards? Are you guys excited for Horde Point coming back? Whatever it may be, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. That said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Call of Duty World War II, updates, news, best class setups, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. And also, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And also, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, that's down there as well for you guys to check out if you want to. But all that said and out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.